have benefited the most if Kobe and LeBron played together?
LeBron James. He'd have benefited the most. I don't think there's any question about that. When you look at LeBron James and his greatness as a player, think about the adversity that he went through to get here. But also think about the fact that for years, he didn't really have anybody staring him in the face that was the living embodiment of accountability. Somebody that would be in his face challenging him to do what the hell he was supposed to do. Max Kellerman, and if y'all could get that footage for me that I asked for from y'all this morning. Max, I want you to look at this. This is I think it's the 2012 All-Star game. LeBron has the ball, all right? He has the ball. Kobe is D'ing him up face to face right there. It's him and Kobe. And he tries to throw a court pass, and Melo, D-Wade, and Kobe are all getting on LeBron. Why? Because, and even Darren Williams, of all people.
It's the All-Star game, brother. People want to see this.
It's the All-Star game, and what they were doing is, you remember, LeBron James had yet to capture a championship. And what was the knock against him? What are you doing? Take it. It's yours. This is your time. What the hell are you doing? I picked that moment and asked them to show that video because it crystallizes my point for this particular argument. Those years where LeBron James was maturing but couldn't get himself over the hump, was devoid of the killer mentality, was susceptible to what people said and what they felt, how he has openly acknowledged how it inhibited him for years. That's why he calls losing in the finals to the Dallas Mavericks his greatest achievement, because with his show The Shop, which I said was a very good show, he's doing a good job with it. The point is, he was saying it was his greatest achievement. Why? Because when he lost, that's when his whole mentality changed. He hunkered down. Pat Riley, D-Wade, everybody, they got on him. He had to ultimately embrace who he is, but also embrace the fact that you got to step up and embrace the challenge and take what is rightfully yours. If he were playing alongside Kobe Bryant, he'd have never had to go through that for that long period of time, because Kobe would have been in his behind from day one, demanding that greatness shined. It would have shined considerably earlier, and we might be actually having valid comparisons to MJ.
Well argued. But you're wrong.
I'm not.
You are. Now, for the sake of argument here, what does LeBron really mean when he tweets that out? Well, Kobe and LeBron were both in some area that you can still call their primes. You could say it was a little post-Kobe's prime and a little pre-LeBron prime when they were both two of the best players in the game. Let's say LeBron had been on the Lakers then. Phil Jackson is still a coach in the league. Whether or not in that year he's coaching the Lakers, let's say Phil Jackson's their coach. That's a realistic scenario where they could have played together and under those circumstances. That was also a league before the three-point revolution, really. Before D'Antoni's system kind of seeped into all coaching systems and totally changed the game, the Warriors dynasty, et cetera. Now, you mean to tell me LeBron benefits more from that pairing than Kobe? Think about this for a second. Phil Jackson coaching Kobe and LeBron. You know what he has there? He has a slightly toned down Michael Jordan and a super duper Scottie Pippen. They would have never lost.
Kobe Bryant isn't considered the best in the best ever because obviously MJ and him played the same position, and we're going to think MJ first. And I get that. But it's not like you look at LeBron James because LeBron James is playing the same position and has the same responsibilities as Kobe. We look at LeBron James as the greatest small forward who ever lived, the physicality that he brings to the game, him being 6'9", 260, chiseled brick house, can handle the ball, a magic kind of player in terms of pass first, all of this other stuff, even though he has an obligation to score. People look at him differently. One of the biggest reasons that LeBron James is compared to Michael Jordan is because LeBron James came into the NBA giving everybody indications he was coming for Jordan.
Brother.
So the reason why those are the reasons why those comparisons, because if you look at Kobe's game, his game mirrored MJ more than LeBron's ever did. It's just that LeBron announced to the world he was coming for MJ, and that's why everybody looked for those comparisons.
If you think of what MJ and Pippen did with Phil Jackson, which is go 6 for 6, now take just a little bit of air out of MJ, just a little bit, and stop, plug it up, right? And do this to Pippen. Turn him into super Pippen.
Again,
you think they're losing?
You're looking at it wrong. You know why you're looking at it wrong? Because neither Kobe nor LeBron played defense better than MJ and Pippen. Neither of them.
They would be slightly lesser defensively and even better offensively. And on the whole, a LeBron-Kobe pairing in their primes would have been even better than MJ and Pippen.
Well, again, you're wrong and you're misinformed. Why? Because you're not bringing into consideration the game that they played compared to the game that MJ and Pippen had to play. Talk about the culture, how far more physical it was back in the day. Let's say, what would MJ...
Making it even easier for Kobe and LeBron.
What would MJ and Pippen have done in this era in terms of how soft it is?
Killed it. But so Kobe...
And again, their defense is elite.
Here's the
difference.
Their
defense is elite.
Here's the difference.
Pippen
is not on anyone's list of top 10 players who ever lived.
When the Lakers lost the championship, beat the Lakers for the championship. What happened in that series?
Who beat the for the championship?
The Bulls beat the Lakers in the championship, the first finals. You remember how Pippen was picking Magic?
Hurt. Yep.
Well, forget all that. Pippen picked up Magic. And so if you guarded Magic, who's usually 6'9" and looking over defenders.
You think LeBron would have guarded Magic?
No. What I'm saying to you is that, but LeBron has never been a defender Pippen is. You do know that.
Pippen is
it's not even close.
Pippen is a much more consistent defender. I'll say this.
Not only that, he's somebody that embraces playing defense more.
No doubt. I wouldn't compare LeBron over the course of a season to Pippen as a defensive player. I will say this, in terms of versatility as a defender, LeBron is more like Dennis Rodman. LeBron, at his best defensively, could legitimately, capably guard all 5 positions.
That's not.
LeBron at his best is an all-time great
Once
defender.
again, that's why you shouldn't be talking basketball, because you're bringing up what he could do. I'm bringing up what he has done. There's been plenty of times. I will never question the ability of LeBron James. There's nothing he can't do.
Let me ask you.
He has shown a willingness religiously throughout the years not to accept elite defensive assignments.
The King now is using Kobe Bryant's old locker. Interesting. At Staples Center. After Kobe did give him his blessing, though, so I want you to know that. Max, what will it take for LeBron to get to Kobe level in Los Angeles?
That's not going to be easy because Kobe fans know what they saw. Kobe Bryant was better than Jordan at an early age, right? And so these fans were like, he's going to be the greatest player of all time. And it didn't quite work out that way. Kobe was basically Jordan, basically the same game, basically the same size, played the same position, almost the same results. There's not much difference, but Jordan was a little bit better. And so Kobe fans cling to this idea that, no, actually, Kobe's the greatest of all time, and they come up with all kind of convoluted arguments to try to push him ahead of Jordan. He's not going to get there. The numbers weren't as good. The eyewitness accounts were not as awe-inspiring, and the championships were a little bit short, but almost there. What it's going to take for LeBron, Stephen A., is for Lakers fans to be able to make the argument that LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. In order to do that, LeBron is going to have to win at least 2 championships with the Lakers while being among the best handful of players in basketball. If LeBron can do that, especially if he stays number 1 and wins a couple of championships, Lakers fans who are now Kobe's fans are going to think, wait a minute, we can make the argument for this guy. And they will give him the kind of love that Kobe now receives.
First of all, Kobe was never better than Michael Jordan. Let me get that out the way, but I'm not going to debate it. That's another day.
I didn't say he was.
I'm talking about, you said at the beginning of his career, the early stages. I'm just saying, I never saw that. But we could discuss that as the season progresses. What I will tell you is this. LeBron James, short of him winning 4 championships in all 4 years that he's in Los Angeles, which will not happen, you'll never be Kobe Bryant in L.A. He would never be Kobe Bryant in L.A. See, it's not just about Kobe the basketball player. It's about the Kobe Bryant that essentially ran off Shaquille O'Neal and ultimately still delivered on 3 consecutive trips to the finals and 2 back-to-back titles after Shaquille O'Neal departed from L.A. Because at the time that Kobe Bryant, let me tell you something. Here was the situation. And you know this because you was doing Afternoon Drive with radio at 710 ESPN L.A., where my radio show is in L.A. now nationwide. Here's the deal. When you look at Dr. Jerry Buss, the late Dr. Jerry Buss, God rest his soul, he basically went to Kobe months in advance. Months in advance. Told him, this show is going to be yours. Because Shaquille O'Neal was looking to get paid over $100 million. At that time, that was a big deal because owners weren't trying to give up that amount of cash. Now, ultimately, it happened with LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh in Miami. But prior to that, owners weren't trying to hear all that, not in the early 2000s, 2003, 2004. So Dr. Jerry Buss wasn't trying to do that. So Kobe Bryant knew months in advance that Dr. Buss was going to move. How do I know this? If you recall, Shaquille O'Neal gave his Hall of Fame speech. What did Shaquille O'Neal say? He sat up there and he said, want to thank Steve Kerr for letting me know, that I was going to be traded. Every other time I heard it from loud-ass Stephen A. Smith. That's what he said in his Hall of Fame speech. Because I told Shaq, months in advance, you out of here. Like, what? I said, it's a wrap. You're done. Don't ask me how I know, and it certainly wasn't Kobe who told me, but I knew Shaquille O'Neal was gone, okay? I didn't know he was going to go to Miami, but you knew Dr. Buss was doing that. He was going to hand the reins over to Kobe. So Kobe, knowing all of that and still doing what he did on the basketball court, because folks want to do something to Kobe.
But there's another component to it real quick.
Kobe, but he ended up shining in spite of it. LeBron can't eclipse that. Through no fault of LeBron.
Well, no, he
can't eclipse that.
Listen. Elgin Baylor was a spectacular player, no championships. Jerry West was a spectacular player, also not a lot of championships, a lot of losing. One championship. Wilt was a giant, and usually giants don't get the love that the smaller guys get.
Because he kept losing to Bill Russell.
Right, and also was past his prime by the time he got to the Lakers.
Right.
Kareem, again, a giant. They don't kind of excite the kids the way the smaller players do. Same thing with Shaq. Magic and Kobe, 5 championships apiece, lifelong Lakers. They have the most love. But what if LeBron resurrects the franchise? Stephen A., what if after he retires, he leads an ownership group that purchases the Lakers from the Buss family, something like that, or buys in, and LeBron on an ongoing basis becomes the face of the Lakers?
The question is not whether or not LeBron's going to be loved. Anybody with a modicum of intelligence will love LeBron in L.A. You should be very grateful to him for coming to L.A. What I'm talking about is we're comparing it to the love Kobe has earned.
It's going to be tough.
And you also have to remember this. We talk about Shaq in terms of size and all of this stuff. He's a Goliath or whatever. Shaq is also Shaq Claus.
Yeah.
He's also
No
that
doubt.
guy that gave to the community big time in L.A. When Shaq was gone, I'm telling you what I know. I'm from the streets. I'm telling you what I know. There were people who wanted and were plotting to do harm to Kobe. And it was Shaq that was like, nah.
Of course.
You ain't no way in hell that's
Shaq
happening.
also has a superstar personality.
So he has a superstar personality, great with the community, ingratiated himself with all of that, not just the most dominant big man of the era. All of that was working against Kobe, and Kobe overcame it won championships. LeBron can't eclipse
If LeBron remains the best player in the game, wins a couple more, and puts himself in the kind of argument against Jordan where people in L.A. can credibly make the claim that replaced Michael Jordan. He replaced Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time. He will get Kobe-level love. Kobe Magic. Because Magic is loved at least as much as Kobe.
Not Kobe-level love.
Just because of longevity alone, in terms of Kobe being there.
Well, we're not talking with Kobe about just longevity. We're talking about Kobe in terms of production. 5 rings.
And peak.
Okay. So
also, let's not forget, Kobe at his peak, it's hard to remember how great he was without looking right at it. At his peak, he was like generational.
The only reason we don't talk about Kobe more in that regard is because he played the same position and played so much like Michael Jordan. If it was not for that, we'd be talking about Kobe instead of MJ.
He took number 24. Had he turned out to be 24, we'd be talking about him even more. He was 22. Jordan was 23. He was 22. And so he doesn't quite get the love that, in fact, he deserves from basketball fans who aren't Lakers fans.
He's an assassin, the Black Mamba.